Off a 7-3 victory in Kent, Washington, where 7 different players scored a goal. As Justin said, trying to close out their U.S. division rivals here in advance. On to the second round for the 4th year in a row. Opening puck drop brought to you by Washington's Lottery. Tips going left to right. Face-off is won by Matthew Wedman, who had a goal and an assist last evening. And Turner Ottenbright to control back behind his own Seattle net. Ottenbright to start play. A slap pass up the right wing. Draws smattering of boos as this pass misses Mike McLean. That goes the length. Icing is a call with now 14 seconds gone by here in Game 5.
And I think one thing to keep an eye on is the play in Seattle's net of Liam Hughes. He was so good against the Silvertips in the regular season. He was pretty darn good to start this series, but 6 goals he allowed last night. Only twice in the regular season did he allow that many. Both were against the Portland Winterhawks.
Tips pierced him for 3 in that opening period, including the penalty shot goal. Left side, Andre Valla. Snap one to the net, missed it high and wide. And now Wiley from the blue line, bouncing one top of the right circle for Dewar. He'll drop for Wiley, and a low-risk shot, scooped up by Liam Hughes into his glove, and we are now 30 seconds gone by here in period number 1. This is the 129th game in Tips playoff history, a record of 54-74. Won game 1 here on home ice, then lost game 2 in sudden death overtime 5-4. They will go Bykov, Fontaine, and Richards up front. First shift here for this top-end trio. Jay Christensen and Kevin Davis back on defense. Face-off control by Seattle. Austin Strand got the clear. Ricochets back in. Thunderbird zone. Tips had yet to vacate, so they're finally to center, but Strand an easy feed up the left side for Niles, and his shot deflecting off the glove of Hart and just tumbled over the crossbar. Bit of a surprising look as far as the Carter Hart save variety. This one now tied up against the backboards. Matt Fontaine frees it back up. Left wing to center. Tips breakout. As Fontaine will drop for Sean Richards, and now leaving it back into his own zone for Jay Christensen. Shots even at 1 apiece. As Davis a stretch pass. Right wing out of the reach of Bykov. That goes the length. Icing is the call. And a face-off will come back in the Silvertip zone.
Now, Bykov really sold out to try and get a piece of that one, but just out of his reach. And as you mentioned, an oddity to see Carter Hart with the glove kind of up above his left ear. Puck that was clearly going to go above the crossbar goes kind of through the webbing of his glove, tilted his glove back, and settled and bounced off the top of his net. Very scary little spot there.
Tips missing 1 player due to injury, Luke Ormsby. Seattle is without Jared Tishka and Sami Moilanen. Tips break to center. Richards left wing into the offensive zone, looking cross ice. A pass settling to Vitelli right circle. That was a toughie, but was neutralized by Ottenbright. And Seattle spins off the right wing. Kaluski now swiped away. Vitelli cutting right side. Through one back door and well out of the reach of Vasco Rudis. Kaluski clears as he was checked by Bryce Kinda. Ian Walker stretch pass out of the reach of Vitelli. Strand returns one to center. Up the right wing. Barker deflects it back in. Behind the Silvertip net it goes. Hard to Ian Walker. Now left wing for Fairbrother. Lead toss Vasco Rudis. And across the line. His wrist shot. Blocker save made by Hughes. And a rebound of the far boards taken by Samuel Ho, who gives it right back. That's 3 passes that Seattle has tried to put out of the zone but given away. Here's Andre Valla for the point. His shot fumbled by Hughes and just leaking wide. Loose puck now left corner. Dewar forcing his way. Behind the net now. Gives off for Pilon. Base right circle to the net. His sharp angled shot save made. And a rebound of the far corner. Gansele now checked by Sutter against the backboards. Owen Williams. Clear to center. Now left wing Peyton Mount will lay it back in. Blocker side corner of Carter Hart.
We saw Hart fumble one and almost saw the same exact thing over there with Liam Hughes. We're going to get an icing call here against the Silvertips, even though Hughes almost came out of his net. Hughes, though, his shot that he was dealing with, I think it was a little bit of a knuckle puck because he saw it the whole way and seemed to sort of fight it the entire way with his glove up in the air, kind of oscillating up and down. It really leaked right through him to the right-hand side for him, fortunately, because if it goes straight through him, it's in the back of the net.
If the numbers have anything as far as playing out for a narrative, Liam Hughes could be in for a workout again. Tips have averaged 42 shots a game in this series. That is best in the entire playoffs. Face off to the left of Carter Hart. Fontaine against Wedman. Seattle wins it. Ottenbright's point shot deflecting off traffic. Left corner, Mike McLean. On the centering pass, turned away by Fontaine. Tips reroute to center. Ball up for Dewar. Will spin it back in. Into the right corner, Bykov. Had it knocked away by Reese Harsh. Wedman left side. To center ice on a cross ice toss to Ottenbright and given right back to Jake Christensen. Puck tied up far boards and spun back in by Vulcan. Behind the silver tip net. As Hart lets it go for Davis. And now left wing for Christensen. Up the boards for Richards. Angles it back in Seattle zone and taken away by Ottenbright. 16:37 to go. Ottenbright given back to Bykov. He'll feather it in. Bykov took some lumber against the arm. Basically ignored Ottenbright. Up now for a change as now Strand angles it in. Hart paddles at his side as Davis trying to shake off Noah Philp. Christensen nearby to support as Davis won the battle. And now looking right side, goes off glass. The clear by Vasco Rudis and back into the Seattle zone as now Strand just outraced Bryce Kindot and controls back behind the T-Bird net. Shots are 4-2 Silver Tips with 16:02 to go. Strand's outlet for Philp up the left wing out of the reach of Niles. Ian Walker turns it back and Batelli stonewalled by Strand. Puck now ricocheting right back toward the Seattle zone. And Strand buys some time and space while the Silver Tips change up, and now Strand gives it away. Left side for Girth, and a backhander just missed the net. Rebound for Bronson, Sharp right circle, now cycling Girth back to Sharp into the corner. Turns to his forehand and trying to spin off a Philp. Sharp looking for the back, but taken away by Niles. Seattle back on the move is now Niles left side. Given back to Walker. Nearby is O'Rourke against the boards. Frees the back up with 15:21 to go. Game 5 underway, 0-0 tie. Here in downtown Everett, large and boisterous crowd on hand here. Tips up 3-1. Ethan O'Rourke, a steal back at the Tips line. Lugs the one ahead, dumps it back into the right corner, and the Tips get a full change, putting Pilon, Dewar, and Sutter on the ice. Seattle back through center. Galuski to the right side, Barger deflects it in. Carter Hart stays put. Wiley takes a check, brings it back up. And Pilon off to the races right wing. Into the offensive zone. He knocked down Barger and controls. Driving wide, centering attempt for Dewar. Save made by Hughes. Rebound kept in by Wiley. Snaps up high for Bala. Left circle for Pilon. Controlling force back up high. Through one of the net. Backhander by Dewar. Kick save made Hughes. Tips are buzzing as now Wiley tosses around to the right corner. Sutter to Pilon. Side of the right circle. Checked by Hamiluk. Pilon forcing it now to the opposite corner. Hustling is Dewar. Knocks away from Toretta. Backhander in front. Sutter. Score! Riley Sutter wide open for his second of this series. 14-14 to go in period 1. And set up by Connor Dewar. That turns downtown Everett into Bedlam from the get-go. It's 1-0 Silver Tips.
That shift right there, Mike, is why we became so infatuated with that line. Sutter, Dewar, Pilon, a tremendous work ethic combined with tremendous skill. From the moment they entered the zone, they dominated puck control. They pushed around the Thunderbirds, evidenced by right when they entered the zone. Pilon literally shoved his man to the ice. They stayed with it. Wiley contributed, pinched in. Great job, and eventually a great setup in front of the net from Dewar to Sutter.
Tips draw first blood here in this elimination game in the playoffs. 4.5 goals. That is third best in the league. Wedman left side. Chipped away, drop back for Ottenbright. Save made, rebound, jammed wide by Wedman. So Seattle with some pushback very next shift. Not surprising. Tips control and breakout is now Fontaine for Davis. Skates into the offensive zone, right side of the Taylor Christensen. Snap shot, glove save by Hughes. He hangs on. And here's a call from Greg Byland.
Pilon at 5:46.
So Sutter from Dewar and Pilon. That entire line shipping in. And Dewar also picking up his 6th point in this series. The Tips up 1-0, and the home team has scored the first goal in 4 of these 5 games.
That's the type of goal and the type of shift that you want to cue up on the highlight reel and just show as an example of how to work the puck, how to cycle the puck, how to create dangerous opportunities, because that's what they did the entire time, and it paid off I love Sutter going to the net. He actually lifted the stick of the defenseman. I think it was Reese Harsh, lifted his own stick. Normally it's the defender lifting the opposite or the offensive player's stick. Took it away and created that goal.
And now Dewar a takeaway, left corner in front, and a pass just ricochets away behind the net, but Sutter controls and threw it back. Right point for Davis. And a shot deflected away off of Pilon. Left corner, Dewar cycling down low. And now Pilon tapping it for Sutter, left corner again. Protecting against Ottenbright, but lost the puck to Phil. Seattle clears. Andrusiak ahead for Niles. Turns Davis around, drives the net wide, and threw one in front, but from a desperate angle, save made. And now Andrusiak behind the cage, plunks it off the net. Philp controls left corner. Cycling for Andrusiak behind the net. Walks out and threw one to the back for Harsh, who spins it from the right side of the blue line and around to the near boards, but Pilon controls. This puck is cleared now with 12:50 to go in period one. Seattle dumps it back in, tips control. Vitelli tried to clear it off Kaluski. Second chance with Davis and Dewar nearby. And Dewar frees it out of the scrum. Christensen clears. A chip and chase. Vitelli tried to turn around Strand, but turned back now to the T-Bird defenseman, and a counterattack on right wing for Hamiluk. He drives wide to the corner. Checked by Fairbrother. Tips on top 1-0 here in Game 5. Trying to close out Seattle tonight as they work it back in left side from Kindot. Now to the corner for Fasco Rudis. To the blue line for Fairbrother. But his pass down low, ricochet to center off of Blake Barger. And a feed on left wing, Hamiluk from the red line, given back now to the Silvertips while Seattle changes up. Left side Fairbrother scoots it back in. Took a check from Holden Cancele. Now played by Liam Hughes toward the far side. Kept in. Shot by Fontaine. Knocked down by Traffic. To center ice Barger for Seattle. Dumps it back in behind Carter Hart's net. Tips goaltender playing one ahead now. It's Ethan O'Rourke to center ice. Picks up speed. Now barreling into the offensive zone. To the right corner. Protects against Owen Williams. Dropping it back now for Wiley. Given away to Seattle. And clear back to center ice as Kaluski gives it back to Wyatt Wiley. 11:21 to go here in period one. Tips on top 1-0. On the game opening tally to Riley Sutter, in case you're just joining us. Seattle works it back in. Great play by Andre Vala to outmuscle the big Matthew Wedman. Height against height on that battle. Shot wide by Volkin from the right side. Harsh kept it in. And a feed now left corner for the big Mike McLean, who's now checked by Wiley. From the blue line, Harsh sent it in back now. Taken by Wedman. Sharp angle bid. Missed the net. And played off backboards. A rebound to Wyatt Wiley. But to the near side. Kept in again. Finally, O'Rourke controls. And the Tips get the clear to center ice. And Nolan Volkin's a fresh body off the bench. And got on by Andre Vala. Drives the net. Save made by Carter Hart, who hangs on. And also turns away a rebound by Matthew Wedman. A scrum at the net. Off that chance. And the Tips survived the stand with 10:38 to go. Here in the first period, their lead maintained at 1-0.
Yeah, Vala was trying to use his long stick. It's very effective. In this instance, I think it was just out of the reach, and the puck was able to be thrown towards the net. And then coming in late was Wedman. And, you know, it's one thing to go after the puck, but he really got his stick kind of right there in a tough area for Carter Hart. Pretty aggressively, too. The Silvertips didn't like it at all. That's why you saw all that activity in front of Carter Hart, but nobody going to the box.
And controlling Andrusiak in the slot, shoots, glove, save by Carter Hart. He hangs on with 10:34 to go in period one as Andrusiak broke away from the cluster at the right circle and got a pretty wide open look.
Yeah, the most dangerous chance, I'd say, for Seattle. A couple of times earlier in the period, they've thrown the puck towards the post and see if Carter Hart was being honest and staying true and holding his line there. But this one, right off the face-off, coming free, right down the barrel. Carter Hart stared it down and was able to make the save and no rebound.
Hart's got 14 wins in his playoff career, .921 save percentage, and you think that gold medal he had back in January for the World Juniors, how valuable that comes into play here come playoff time. 10:20 left here in the first. Tips up 1-0 on Seattle in Game 5. Strand into the offensive zone and lays a pass wide of Andrusiak right circle. Christensen spun away, now to the right side, Pilon. Stretch pass, connecting Dewar, a chip and chase. In around Strand, broken up, kept in. Christensen, his shot to the net, save made by Hughes. And he hangs on from The 55-foot bid by Christensen at the left side. And we have 10:02 to go in period one.
A good stick handling from Dewar. Strand just enough at the last moment to kind of reach in as he was turning, because Dewar had gone right through the box, through his legs. He was trying to get back to unload a shot. At the last instant, Strand was able to poke it free back up to the blue line where Christensen fired it in on Hughes.
Tips will go Pilon, Sutter, and Dewar out there on the left circle face-off. One of the tips, and Dewar onto the back for Fairbrother. Looks for a shot lane, now fires, knocked down, rebound out of the reach of Dewar. Ian Walker teed one up, and blocked by Dylan Hamiluk to center ice. Tips regain, and Pilon shuffles back in. He pursues along with Dewar. As Strand flips it off the net, given away. Pilon centering toss. Sutter drops it back for Fairbrother. From the line, guns it wide. Dewar in back controlling. Now to the right corner, protecting against Strand. Low to high pass, Ian Walker, a shot knocked down. Loose puck in from Pilon, fires and blocked, I think, by Jake Lee. Big hit along the left side as Dewar wiped out Lee. Crowd reacts as a result. 9:17 to go in period one. Silver Tips on top 1-0 here in game 5. Strand tossing down the length, icing call waved off. Arplaza up the left and Fairbrother along the center. And Kindop up the wing to Reese Vitelli and relay back to Kindop. In the Seattle zone. Kindop left corner trying to shake away Reese Harsh. Now Williams plays it up for Vulcan. And to the left side, Wedman bumped away by Kindop, but with support, Vulcan picks up. Now skates his way in. Snap shot blocked by Andre Vala. That puck out of play. As we have 8:46 to go in period one. Silver Tips on top of the Seattle Thunderbirds 1-0 in game 5 of the 2018 WHL playoffs and first round action. Our first timeout brought to you by Another Castle Video Games. Tips up on the Seattle Thunderbirds 1-0. Mike Benton with you. Alongside Justin Morrison, Keith Black as well. Glad you can be with us. Austin Strand keeps it in from the line. Left side now for Niles, and his shot knocked down by Wyatt Wiley. 8:33 to go. Here in the first, Tips up 1-0. Strand dropping it for Ottenbright. Poked away, and Patrick Bykov has got a breakaway. Moving into the forehand shoot, save made by Liam Hughes off the toe. He had Turner Ottenbright dead and rights, and Liam Hughes rescued that play for the Seattle Thunderbirds. Niles onto the back for Ottenbright. Center point feed, Strand shoots it wide. Andrusiak gave it away. Right side, shot by Niles. Save made by Carter Hart. Rebound down to the left corner. Big saves by goaltenders on both ends of the ice in a matter of seconds. Inside 8 minutes left here in the first. Tips clear, back ahead of center. Richards for Bykov, spun away. Ottenbright dumps it back in. Behind the Tips net. Right side now for Wyatt Wiley. Trying to shake off Andrusiak. Guns up the boards out of the reach of Pilon. Jake Lee trying to reset for Harsh deep in his own zone. Chased by Dewar. And Frieza up left side now for Lee. 7.5 to go. Seattle back on the attack. Left wing Vulcan. Low wrist shot. Kick save Hart. Threw one in front again. And turned away by the Tips defense. Counter attack now. Dewar for Riley Sutter. Left wing into the zone of the circle for Dewar. In front to Pilon. Hit the goalpost. He went glove side on Hughes, wide open, and just missed. Seattle dumps it back down for an icing call, and we have 7:08 to go in period one. The Silver Tips continuing to move in waves, and it took a breakaway save and a hit post, preventing 2-0.
Yeah, the coaching staff wants them to go upstairs, and I'll make sure I reserve my right to comment before I see all views. Great setup by those guys again. Sutter to Dewar to Pilon. He rang it. He had Hughes absolutely sprawled out on the ground, on the ice, and rang it clean off the crossbar. Two different opportunities for the Silver Tips there, as Bykov just moments earlier. This is already getting into dangerous zone here for the Thunderbirds, as the Silver Tips are buzzing here this first period.
Sutter kicked out of the face-off circle, taken by Pilon. Tips won it, and Dewar thrusting one back, but out of the reach at the blue line of Jay Christensen. Tips reset back in their own zone. Davis a stretch feed. Sutter now left wing for Dewar. Into the offensive zone. Drives the net, centering toss for Sutter. Save made by Hughes, and a rebound trickling wide. Kolewski skates it back ahead. Left wing for Dylan Hamiluk. Ties up Davis, scoots it in front. Turned away by the Tips. And back to center ice is Sutter. With 6:38 to go. Tips dumped it back in, but from behind center red, it goes for icing. Next faceoff will come nearby Carter Hart here with 6:36 to go in period one. You'll hear Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Doug Gottlieb, the Fish, Jeff Aaron, and Tips Hockey. What a lineup on Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3.
I know it's still first period here, Mike, but every chance you get to send out Sutter, Dewar, and Pilon, they are creating golden opportunities every time they're on the ice. You don't want to wear them out early, but they are having their way with Seattle right now.
Oh, they're on a heater right now. It's apparent as far as puck possession. Tips control off the right circle face-off, and Fairbrother clears. And Vitelli off the right boards from center, dumps it back in. Vasco Rudis going after Strand behind the net. Seattle takes it away. It's cleared, but given back to center red to Ian Walker. Off to Fairbrother. Cross-ice pass, and Vasco Rudis from the right wing. Tossing one of the circle. Vitelli in front and out of the reach of Kindop. Samuel Ho up the boards. Shift to center. Cancel relays for Peyton Mount. Dumps it back in with 6:01 to go here in period one. Tips on top of Seattle 1-0. In this game 5, potential closeout affair. Tips on top 3-1. O'Rourke behind the net. Now for Sharp. Spun off puck nearly by Philp. Recovers and sends it into the corner. And controlling is Bykov. Shuffling one of the blue line. Davis to Bykov. Scoots it into the corner. First on puck is Philp. Hit by Sharp. Seattle angles one away. Andrew Siak for Niles at center. Chipped away by Davis. Silver tip line. 5:25 to go here in period one. Tips work it back down behind the Seattle net. Controlling is Turner Ottenbright. Their captain, and that draws the booze as he feeds it right side for Toretta. To center, Andrew Siak. Giving back now to the Silver Tips. And Fontaine resetting for Davis right side. Fed one ahead, and Fontaine speeds his way left wing into the offensive zone, but it's offside Silver Tips. And we have 5:05 to go here in period one. The Silver Tips lead it 1-0 in game 5. This season, for every home game victory, BECU proudly donates $100 to Housing Hope. BECU is a proud financial partner of Everett Silver Tips Hockey.
I missed that offsides there. I wasn't sure as Fontaine got the puck from a great distribution out of his own end. Davis was terrific in spotting Fontaine in the open ice with a ton of speed. Richards and Bykov were both near side, right in front of the Seattle bench. And I thought just sitting there waiting for Fontaine, there was no hesitation as he entered the Seattle zone. So I'm not exactly sure who jumped off sides between Bykov and Richards.
Tips go Pilon, Sutter, and Dewar again. Jake Christensen shoots it back in. He's paired with Wyatt Wiley on defense. And now Jake Lee battling in deep against Dewar. And the Tips for the Pitbull takes him out. And now Dewar left corner spun away from Wedman, but nearby was Lee and gave it right back. Here's Sutter. Off to Pilon, right circle. Drives a wide of the net. And now Pilon plays off his backhand right corner. Pilon still hangs on from the slot. Chips it wide in the left corner. And now Pilon goes after Mike McLean. Boards rattle off that hit. Wedman clears up the right wing to Vulcan. Spins it back in. Tips regain. And Sutter off for Wiley now with 4:19 to go. Lead toss at center. Christensen for Dewar. Pitbull's out of gas. Off to the bench now for a change. Christensen checks Ottenbright against the backboards. Now to the right corner. Lays it for Vasco Rudis. Spun away by Harsh. Clear to center. Off the right boards. All the way back in Tip zone. Oh, the Tips partisan crowd chants, "Let's go Tips." 3:54 to go. First period, Silver Tips on top of Seattle 1-0. Tips dump it back in now as it's worked back toward the right side. Ian Walker, high-rising shot, deflects high and wide. Now a chip by Kindop off the left boards as Kindop gears in. Vasco Rudis' centering toss is turned away. Amalek up the right wing. Blake Barger a chip and chase. Couldn't beat the last layer. He's checked by Ian Walker. Barger gives it away to Kindop. Center ice and about nearly drew a knee-on-knee hit. Kindop's okay, but that was awfully dangerous, and the Tips bench certainly knew that as well.
Yeah, Strand was trying to come in and get physical, but just about got blown by Kindop.
Kindop, now it's Bykov into the offensive zone. Right side Fontaine, centering toss rolls on through. Andre Vala tees one up and missed the net wide. Andrew Siak controls in Seattle back to center ice. Philp will dump it in. Worked on by Vala. 2:55 to go. Puck sent back. Niles toward the blue line. Left side. Jake Lee fires. Knocked down by traffic. Tips control. Fontaine for Bykov at center. He'll chip it in off the glove of Austin Strand. Shot by Hughes, given away. And Richards pinballs one off. Fontaine left circle. Andrusiak up the right wing. A relay and a short one for Niles. Brings it in. Shot from the right circle. Save made Carter Hart. And the rebound clear back out by Pilon. 2:25 to go here in the first. Tips on top 1-0. Looking for more. It's Pilon handing off for Sutter. Dropped it left side. Christensen fires from the line and a glove save by Hughes. And he hangs on now with 2:17 to go here in period one. Progressive Wellness Center is the official chiropractor of the Everett Silvertips. Call 425-355-5000 today to schedule an appointment.
Love the way the Silvertips are playing right now. They really are making it hard on Seattle. It's that type of game that we wanted to see. Make the Thunderbirds go the length of the ice. See if they can do it. And they've had a really hard time. There's been so much pressure, so much forechecking, aggression to the Silvertips that oftentimes it's all Seattle can do is to gain center ice, dump it in, and go off for a change. It's been relatively easy for the Silvertips to get out of their own zone.
Sutter wins a face-off. Wiley's shot knocked down. Second chance fires, missed the net. And Pilon picks up left corner. Traced by Ottenbright. Will leave for Dewar at the left hash. Spins away off pressure. Draws two defenders, leaving Pilon open. Takes it wide of the Seattle net. Pilon's tough one in front. Wraparound bid, fanned on it, and an easy cover-up for Liam Hughes. Now with 1:55 to go in period one.
It's a good move by Pilon and Dewar combined on the far boards. Pilon was really tied up with Ottenbright, gave it off to Dewar. He won his battle and drew two Thunderbird defensemen. Ottenbright left Pilon to go try and tangle with Dewar. That gave Pilon some space to go behind the net. He was trying to wrap it around and center it for Sutter, but just couldn't quite get it all the way to the Silvertips center.
Tips go back with the Riley-Sutter line. Right circle face-off against Matthew Wedman. Christensen and Wiley back on defense. So Dennis Williams shuffling the deck a little bit right now. And a face-off is eventually controlled by Strand, but given away. Pilon backhanding one toward the net, but knocked down to the chest of Ottenbright. To center ice, his feet for Samuel Ho. Dumps it back in. Glove side corner of Hart. Wiley spins it free to the right wing. Pilon a feed to center. Chipped off of Samuel Ho. Dewar picks up. Skates into the offensive zone on right wing. He lays one toward the corner. Sutter battling Ottenbright. Fasco Rudis going after Vulcan. Seattle back with possession. Strand ahead for Ho right wing. He'll fire it back in. 1:19 to go. In period one, Silvertips lead 1-0 in game 5. Here in downtown Everett, of 3-1 in the series. Wiley for the Silvertips. A feed up left wing, Kindop from center. Brings it into the offensive zone. Driving wide with speed. And out checked by Harsh as Kindop reads it toward the left circle. Minute left, the feed to the blue line. Shot wide by Vala. Rebound behind the net, picked up by Jackson Kaluski. 53 seconds to play. Ahead, Dylan Hamiluk. Spun away Silvertip line. Vitelli sent one back. T-Bird zone taken away. Reese Harsh shot from center. Saved by Hart. And gloves it away now for Kevin Davis. Tips are back on the move. Richards weaving his way on through center. Lays it into the right corner, Seattle zone. Played by Fontaine to Bykov. Side of the circle. Tossing him back. Here's Fontaine. Walks in front. Save made. Rebound loose. And just out of the reach of Bykov. That also handcuffed Liam Hughes. Giveaway in front, Bykov. Save made by Hughes. And skated back out by Phil. Seattle skating back with speed. Phil a drop pass. Andrusiak into the zone. Shoots it wide. 10 seconds left. Tips a chance, but Fontaine overskates the puck. Inside his own line. Niles lays it in deep. One last touch. Andre Vala for Kevin Davis. And that will do it. The first period of play has come to a close. Sean Richards in the meantime getting into it with Turner Ottenbright. And the two right down to the deck. I think I saw 2 thumbs up here from the officials, which would mean matching penalties. But again, it's getting vicious. With the Silvertips putting the Thunderbirds into a corner, 20 minutes down in this elimination game, in the Silvertips with a 1-0 lead on a goal by Riley Sutter, 5:46 in. Second period brought to you by Great Clips. You know it's going to be great tips going right to left across your dial. 2-0. here in this series when they lead after one, and they're out to a 1-0 advantage with play beginning at 4-on-4. So we'll see how the Tips can capitalize on open ice. But Seattle has the puck, and Vulcan dumps it in from center. Deflecting around on the right side. Andre Valla controls and takes off. Big man dropping for Garrett Pilon, weaving his way in. Snap shot blocked by Jake Lee and deflecting high off the back glass. Rebound to the near side. Vulcan chip to center off of Kevin Davis. Matthew Wedman fumbles it, poked away from behind by Connor Dewar, and now Seattle resetting back in their own zone. Reese Harsh up the right wing for Phil. Turned away at center, and Andre Valla drives it back in, and the Silvertips get a full-scale change. Bykov, Fontaine, Wiley, and Christensen jumping out for 4-on-4. Right wing Donovan Niles for Seattle, weaving his way left wing into the offensive zone. Dropped it back to the blue line for Williams. Off his tape, and Niles will shuffle it in deep. You look right back at center. 3 Thunderbirds immediately dropped back right when they bailed on that puck behind Carter Hart. Matt Fontaine now controls, Tips break through on left wing, but he gives it away to Strand. Counter-attack, and now it's Williams for Niles. Left at center, Strand almost pickpocketed by Bykov as Strand brings it back into the offensive zone. Turned away on a centering pass, and Bykov back on through. Feeds it toward the Seattle line. Williams up the right wing. For Strand, who works it in. Turned away by Jake Christensen. Bykov short relay. Sutter on right wing. Drop pass. Bykov the trailer looking in front. Sutter was wide open, but the pass jammed away. Sutter sends one back to the line, and Wiley stick handled that right back to center and in, so the Tips have to bail or else offside. And now Williams controlling with play to 5 aside right now. Seattle breaks in. Hamiluk hits the brakes, right circle, shoots it wide, and a rebound off boards, cleared by Riley Sutter. Along for Dewar with speed, pulls up, a snap shot from the circle, blocked by Jake Lee, and deflecting up and out. And we have 17:49 to go here in period 2. Tips have a goal differential of 8-2 in this second period, so a big time here to make a move up 1-0 here in game 5.
They really grabbed game 4 by the scruff of the neck in period 2 to build that 5-1 lead. An effort like that here tonight would be huge and going a long way in trying to get a victory in game 5.
Tips control, Kindop in back, wrap around, save Hughes off the paddle. And a rebound to the left corner. Fasco Rudis is there. Set one to the line, Fairbrother. Shuffles at Fasco Rudis. Almost broke free of Harsh. Cleared by Hamiluk to center. And Barger will deflect it back in. Glove side corner of Carter Hart. Ian Walker now sending it behind his zone net. Hart has to bat it away as a loose puck down to the right circle. Hamiluk controls. Sent one back. Out of the reach of Jake Lee. And from center. Gives away tip zone. And Ian Walker to the Seattle line. Broken up now by Turner Ottenbright. Tips control. Vitelli breaks it. Left wing, challenging Ottenbright. Stuffs it deep into the zone as Jake Lee. First on puck, just beats Spencer Girth in time. And now Lee will skate to center. Up the left wing. Drives it in. He got hammered at center ice as well. Andre Valla sends it back down. It's a foot race, so Bronson Sharp beats the icing call. Takes it in behind and sends it off the net. Spencer Girth now drawing 2 defenders. Shields the puck right circle. Lays it behind the net. Ottenbright barely chipped that one away from Ethan O'Rourke. Vulcan for Seattle. Stretch past Andrew Siak. Left side Wedman. Chipped away by Kevin Davis. Puck rolling back toward the Seattle line. Toretta spins it back in, making his second consecutive appearance. In place of the injured Jared Tishka as well. 16:22 to go here in the second. Wedman tied up backboard. Silver tip zone. Alongside Valla. Is now Ethan O'Rourke trying to spin this one free. And a goal back in game 5 as well. Big hit along the right boards as Girth lays out Toretta. Tips cleared it down, but not enough for icing. Strand ahead on left wing for Niles. Silver tip zone. Chipped away by Davis. And now Niles down to the ice. No call. Play continuing on now with 15:52 to go, and Seattle flips it back in.
And no call. This game has been very whistle-free. Not a lot of action. Not the same feel as all these other games that have come before this one.
Just 2 penalties, and those were on matching minors to begin the second period. Valla back in the tip zone. Leads up the left wing. Richards for Fontaine. Back for Richards. Left circle. Bykov controlling. From the corner, sent one back to the line. Christensen's shot blocked by traffic, and that deflecting over the back glass and out of play. We have 15:25 to go in the second. And the Silvertips on top of the Seattle Thunderbirds, 1-0 in Game 5.
I like what I see here to start this period. Almost 5 minutes gone by. Maybe not quite as intense as the first 20 minutes was. Maybe not quite the early opportunities for the Silvertips. But the passing's been good, and they've still been disruptive. The Thunderbirds have just had a really hard time trying to gain control of the puck in the Silvertips' end.
Christensen dropping it back for Bykov. Tees one up and blocked by traffic. I think his own teammate Matt Fontaine got a piece of it. And now Wiley trying to feed the corner right side for Richards. There's now Wedman a check. And Richards lost the puck. Volkin is center on a feed for Barger right side. A chip and chase. He draws Matt Fontaine to the backboards. Puck deflecting now to the trapezoid. Worked free by Richards. Christensen poked ahead. Richards with speed on left wing. Silvertips break back in. Richards left corner. Shuffles one around to the right side. Volkin now being worked on by Richards right corner. As Harsh up the left wing to Nolan Volkin. At center ice, Thunderbirds back on the move. Volkin given away to Wyatt Wiley. Into the corner and now checked by Wedman. 14:31 to go. Tips control and back on the attack. Sutter for Pilon. Right wing Seattle zone. Sends it behind the net. Liam Hughes paddles one to the corner. And Jake Lee now being worked on by Riley Sutter. And now Sutter takes it away. Sent one to the blue line. Ian Walker, wrist shot, save made by Hughes. Rebound for Pilon, save again by Hughes, and just falls on it. And a whistle here with 14:10 to go in period 2. Ian Walker got that puck all the way through traffic. Again, a close opportunity for Garrett Pilon, but it stays 1-0. And a face-off coming Seattle zone.
And the opportunity created by the goal scorer for the Silvertips tonight, Riley Sutter, who picked Jake Lee's pocket there back in the far side corner. It was a great job of getting after the young Thunderbird defenseman, taking the puck away, sending it back up to the blue line, and that shot from Walker really had Hughes on his heels because after he made the save, he was falling back, kind of sitting on his behind.
Right circle face-off. Tips go Dewar, Sutter, and Pilon again, and Sutter a turnaround shot from near the blue line. Kick save by Hughes. And Seattle plays it right corner and Strand up the wing for Philp. Relays Andrusiak through center, given away to Kevin Davis, and the Tips will sail it back down, but an icing call coming up. And we have 13:52 to go here in period 2. The Silvertips thank B2B partners, including 360 Hotel Group, At Large Brewing, C&B Painting, Electronic Business Machines, and Emerald City Solutions. See their offers and sign up your business at everettsilvertips.com/B2B.
And if you're using shots on goal as an indicator of how this start of the second period has gone, Silvertips have the only shots on goal this period, 3-0 right now in their favor.
17-11 for the game. Tips control, and now Davis ahead for Dewar. Right side against the back-charging Jake Lee. Dewar to the net, wrist shot wide, and kept in for the blue line. Vala guns it wide of the target. Dewar at the side of the right circle. In behind for Pilon, centering attempt for Dewar. Jammed away, loose puck, Batelli, and knocked away again by Andrusiak. To center ice, Seattle regrouping now. Jake Lee from the zone line. Swung to Andrusiak, left wing, turned away by Batelli. Counterattack, Vasco Rudis, right wing into the offensive zone to the net, and just missed on the pass of Bryce Kinda. To center ice, Andrusiak will chisel it back in. Behind the Silvertip net to Ian Walker. Stretch pass up the right wing. Vasco Rudis into the zone, wrist shot from the circle. Save made by Hughes. Hangs on, and we get another collision at the net with 13:02 to go. This stays 1-0 Silvertips, but an impressive feed up ice, tape to tape. Vasco Rudis stopped in the right circle to keep it 1-0.
Yeah, it's just an example of the way this game has gone. The Thunderbirds on one end make 3 passes before they get to their own blue line. They just get it out of the zone. They turn the puck over. It's kind of fired back in and then chipped ahead into the Everett end where Walker goes back, retrieves it. 1-2 strides, fires it up ice, and it's an opportunity going the other way for the Silvertips.
Face off right circle, won by Seattle, and Ottenbright pushing ahead. McLean chopped away by Ian Walker at center. And the Tips turn it back for Bronson Sharp on left wing. A knocked down by Hamiluk. And a puck off for Samuel Ho. Leads up the left side. Williams skates into the offensive zone. His slap shot, save made, Carter Hart. Rebound picked up by Ian Walker. Tips on top 1-0. Countering through center as now Sharp dumps it in. To the left side, O'Rourke. Laid it behind the Seattle net and taken by Jake Lee. 12:27 to go. His pass up the wing left side for Barger. Chipped away by Wiley. Found Christensen. And the Silvertips now button hook through center ice as Bykov brings it in. Snapshot. Glove save by Hughes. And got that one into the net. With 12:15 to go in period 2. And the Tips have now outshot the Thunderbirds 19-12.
And another thing the Silvertips have done really well tonight, maybe the best they've done all series, is great support along the boards. When the puck has gone over there, they have been really quick to lend a hand and to get it out of there quickly. I think the longer it stays along the boards, the more physical Seattle can be. That physicality has been negated just by some great work over there by the Silvertips.
Face off right circle, Seattle skates it out. Reese Harsh from the red line dumps it in. Blocker side corner of Hart. And Christensen away for Wiley. And up for Matt Fontaine, gearing through center. Possibly 3-on-2. Fontaine cross ice. Christensen fires. Save made Hughes. Rebound spun away by Volkin. Christensen lost his edge as Seattle breaks back on through. Possibly 2-on-1. Barger to Wedman. The Barger in front. Save made by Connor Hart. And he hangs on with 11:46 to go in period 2. A quick redirection between Blake Barger and Matthew Wedman. And Hart up the task, denying Barger at the top of the crease to keep it 1-0 here in the second period.
Well, that was a little bit of a comedy of errors there. Everybody on the ice, there were players going down for both teams. There was a tie-up between Wedman and Bykov about 20 seconds earlier back in the Everett zone. Bykov, I think, lost his stick or had his stick broken. And when he came to the bench, it was unclear whether he was coming off or whether he needed a new stick. The resulting play was that 2-on-1 opportunity where Carter Hart made a big save.
Niles wins the face-off. Ottenbright, sharp angle bid from the left, and a glove save by Hart. And he hangs on now with 11:42 to go in period 2.
I think one of the things, when plays like that happen, two things need to happen. One, there needs to be clear communication, and even though it was behind the play, lesson for Bykov to make haste, get over there, get to the bench so that somebody can either get on and replace you or you can get a new piece of lumber.
Face out to the right of Carter Hart, tips control. Davis flips it left glass all the way through Seattle zone. No icing call as Ottenbright checked by Pilon. Strand as he got hit by Sutter around to the left. Niles clears it, smacked away by Davis at center. Seattle regains as now Niles shoots it back in behind the Tips net. And now Hart to the right side for Davis. 11:18 to go. Stretch passes center off of Riley Sutter. Return by Strand to the red line. Tips take it away. And reset for Davis in his own zone up the right wing. Pilon gets on by Ottenbright to the right circle. Pass across to Fairbrother. Save made by Hughes. Rebound smacked away. Seattle's Niles skates it back out. 10:55 to go in period 2. We've seen this movie before. Liam Hughes is keeping Seattle in this game. It stays 1-0 Silvertips. Denying that late 2-on-1 as Gianni Fairbrother wide open at the left side. Tips and Kindop smack it back in. Another hit along the boards. That drew the ire of the Silvertips, but play continues as now Mountain gives it away to Kindop and a feed to Fasco Rudis out of his reach. Left corner now Mount. Up the boards for Samuel Ho. Kept in by Fairbrother. He wheels it behind the net and harsh hit by Fasco Rudis. 10:19 to go. Pass up the right wing. Taken away by the Silvertips as a hit on Mount. Extracted it. Left corner, Kindop takes it wide of the net. Low to high pass for Ian Walker and returns it behind the cage. Girth now battling Samuel Ho in the corner. Nearby is Kindop as Girth plays it off the forehand to Sharp. Behind the Seattle net. Checked by Jake Lee. O'Rourke controls, sent one up high for Fairbrother and returned around again to the right corner for Sharp. His feed now in front for O'Rourke and knocked away by Harsh. Just out of his reach again as Seattle can't clear. And Christensen smacks it down low. Played by Girth toward the net. Save made by Hughes, who just gets his blocker on it. And a whistle here as well with 9:35 to go in the second period. We'll step aside. Game 5 more than halfway through. Silvertips maintaining a 1-0 lead on the Seattle Thunderbirds. And you're listening. Face off left circle. Tips control Seattle zone as Bykov sent it back, but out of the reach of Wyatt Wiley. All the way back toward Carter Hart. And we'll steer this one for Jake Christensen and having to fight off Nolan Volkin behind the net. Wiley up the right side. Bykov to center. Cross ice for Fontaine. A chip and chase around Strand and forcing his way toward the corner. Ottenbright knocks it free. Bykov jams Strand against the board's left side. Nearby is Richards. Taken away by Wedman. Tip's got to get back. On the attack, Wedman right side. 3-on-3. Wrist shot save made. Barger rebound. What a glove save by Connor Hart. My, oh my, put that one on your highlight reel. 8:57 to go in the second period. Number 70 emphatically says, no, you don't, with the glove on Barger to keep it 1-0 Tips.
You kind of called this one through the neutral zone, Mike. Silvertips were struggling to get back. It was a 3-on-2 and then a 4-on-3. And while the shot came from an odd angle from Wedman, not really a goal-scoring chance, he put it in a tough spot where the rebound sat out in front. Hart did a good job seeing where the shooter was going to be and then making that terrific glove save.
Built from the blue line is shot kick saved by Hart. Rebound Andre Vala. Finds space, snaps it rink wide. Out of the reach of Connor Dewar, and that will go for icing now with 8:40 left here in period 2. So we'll see if the Tips can build off that big save. It sent a jolt right through this building, and it stays 1-0 Silvertips. More than halfway gone here in Game 5 of the series.
Yeah, build off it and make sure you're aware that this might be a big push from the Thunderbirds, who haven't really, haven't really come as hard as at the Tips as I thought maybe they would, but maybe that will inject some life in them.
Jake Lee, a shot for the blue line, juggled by Hart. Rebound Tips, smack it away into the near side. Niles trying to flip it in front. Good read by Davis, controls, stretch feet up the right wing, and Pilon brings it into the offensive zone. Turns around Harsh, and now Pilon walking out. Set one to the line, ball, a slap shot, score! Andre Vala, 8:18 to go in the second period. A rocket from the blue line. It's his first of this series. From the left side, it's 2-0 Silvertips.
Well, just like that, a controlled slap shot from Andre Vala. He's been known in this series to let loose with some serious mustard. Oftentimes climbing up into the altitude. Has a high rising shot, but this one was much more under control. Really well played. Silvertips almost seemed to be looking around as if they didn't know who to go hug. Well, if nobody tipped it, go hug the big defenseman, because that was a terrific shot from him. Good traffic, good screen in front. It might have got Hughes kind of his own pad and gone in. I'll have to see here who they give it to, but nonetheless, great goal for the Silvertips at a timely spot here, midway point of the second period.
Who have now taken more of an assertive edge on the inside track of this Game 5. Jackson Kaluski works it in deep for Seattle with 8:08 to go. And from the right, set one cross ice. A wild pass out of the reach of Owen Williams. To center ice up the left wing, Kaluski. Given away to Vitelli and bumped back in. And Williams chops it off glass. And back to center ice, Kaluski will dump it back in for Seattle. Pilon and Davis get the assist on the Vala goal at 11:42. That is now 2 points on the evening here for Pilon. Here's Strand, top of the right circle for Seattle, through one of the nets. Save made. Rebound, Samuel Ho in front, tied up by Vitelli, and just slid wide. Strand worked on by Ian Walker. Spare Brothers smacks one around to the near side. Vitelli up the boards with 7:22 to go here in the second period. The Silvertips up 3-1 in this best-of-7 series. Trying to close it out this evening. Ian Walker shoveling one from his own zone back toward the Seattle end. Taken away, Toretta steers up the left wing. Given back to the Silvertips and Walker. 7 minutes left. The takeaway. Left side, Ottenbright. Low wrist shot. Save made by Carter Hart. Rebound jam behind the net. Now Wedman forcing his way to the right corner. Worked on by Christensen. A pass up high out of the reach of Toretta. He's got Kindop on his heels. Sent down Seattle zone. Left corner. The two collide as Fontaine to help out, but extracted by Ottenbright. And a feed up the left wing to Barger and along to Wedman. Left wing lumbering in, and his shot blocked by Wyatt Wiley. Deflection now toward the crease off the backboards, and that allows Carter Hart to cover up. And we have 6:28 to go here in period 2. The Tips on top of the Seattle Thunderbirds 2-0 in Game 5. Ranked as one of America's top 50 public courses to play by Golf Digest, Kayak Point is the official golf course of your Everett Silvertips. More information at golfkayak.com.
Matthew Wedman, who was the star for the Thunderbirds in the third period when they tried to mount a comeback last night, not able to tonight have as much freedom with the puck. In this instance here, down 2 goals, puck going towards Carter Hart's net. He just went bull in a china shop and came right in, barreling through everybody to try and get towards Carter Hart a couple seconds after he covered it up. Nobody likes that too much. Carter Hart taking off his mask, kind of checking himself, making sure everything's good. The goaltender looks ready to go for Everett.
That will bring Sutter and Philp to the face-off circle. Left side, thrown by Niles toward the net. Save made by Hart. Rebound to the right circle. Philp's high rising shot, save made. Niles off the rebound, looking for Philp. Tied up by Vitelli, kept in. Harsh from the line and feeds it behind the net. Controlling his Philp, worked on by Christensen. Forced toward the right corner as Philp off the backhand. And now to the hash marks. Sent one around far corner. Spun away by Sutter. Off to Pilon, but not out just yet. 5:58 to go in period 2. Tips on top here in Game 5, 2-0. The center is Pilon for the Silver Tips, forcing one ahead. Christensen might have been onside, but was being cautious here, and now finds Pilon. Onside left wing is Dewar. Wrist shot, save made by Liam Hughes. And a rebound to the left corner for Dewar again. Now walking out between the circles. Stuffed one off the backhand as he was falling down, but blocked by traffic. Counterattack for Seattle as Niles guns it back in. To the far corner, and now Hamiluk a check on Kevin Davis. Tips regain. 5:22 to go here in the second. Tips up 2-0 here in Game 5. Vasco Rudis pushing one ahead of the right wing on a pass in front just out of the reach of Vitelli, and he was open by a mile. Now it's Strand behind his own Seattle net. Skating his way to center ice. Now left wing, Strand into the offensive zone. Cuts right side. His shot. Save made, Carter Hart. And a rebound deflected by Richardson back of the cage. But Seattle gets it back in McLean to the blue line for Ottenbright. Slap shot blocked by Richards. Ottenbright couldn't handle. And to center. He'll tumble it back in tip zone with now 4:45 to go here in the second.
It's a really big block shot from Richards because Ottenbright has a heavy shot, and the Thunderbirds are pushing right here. That goal from Bala was huge because this is the best spell of hockey for Seattle.
Tips racing in now. Fontaine right wing through one to the net, just wide, and now taken left side by Fairbrother. At the circle, grinding away is Pilon. Back to Fontaine. Looks off right circle. Walker steps in, wrist shot, save. Rebound and behind for Bykov. Slips off of Wedman. Puck kicked by Bykov to the far circle. Jake Lee, though, stripped by Bryce Kindop. Bykov now right circle again. Left it for Kindop in the corner off a fan pass. And now we get a whistle of 4:07 to go. It's going to be a penalty coming up on the Seattle Thunderbirds, and the Silvertips will get their first power play of this evening.
There was a battle going on behind the net. Bykov has been front and center in a lot of this series, and Wedman, you could see a couple shifts earlier, his frustration was boiling over. Bykov was trying to work past Wedman with some nifty stick handling and skating behind the net. Wedman did just enough, as you said, Mike, to kind of poke it away, but they still remained entangled, and they took that battle all the way up to the top of the face-off circle, and then Wedman just kind of gave it to Bykov, gave him a little pot shot there after the puck had gone away from them, and that is what drew the attention.
Tips of the power play of this series, 3 of 17. It's their first this evening and trying to build on a 2-0 lead. Davis to Pilon. Off the left point with 3:58 to go. Cross ice feed Davis. Into the right circle for Fontaine. Down low for Dewar. Off for Bykov. Score! Patrick Bykov wide open at the left post. Power play goal. Just 17 seconds into the 5-on-4. 3:50 left in period 2. It's 3-0 Silvertips.
Wow, what a big goal there for Patrick Bykov and for the Silvertips power play. Not wasting any time. Getting it done early. benefiting obviously from the man advantage, but also right off the face-off in the corner, Turner Rottenbright lost his stick, had his hands up in the air, seemed to be pretty upset about it. That's nothing new for this series. Didn't get a chance to see how it happened, but you're down a man and then another man out there, one of your four doesn't have a stick. It allowed the Silvertips to go right to the front of the net with Dewar taking the puck there, unmolested, got the shot kind of half away, and Bykov swallowed it up, got the rebound, and buried it into an open net.
16-10 time of the goal. Dewar and Fontaine had the passes, will await the confirmation. Bunch should pick up the assist. Hamiluk and behind the Silvertip net. Wraparound bid turned away by Carter Hart off the left pad. Tips control. Sutter breaks on through center. Right wing Seattle zone. Cross ice. Christensen shoots. Save made by Hughes. And the Tips are trying to open the floodgates right now. Counterattack Philp right wing. Slap shot and this and that by a mile. Puck kept into the blue line by Strand. Shuffles one to the circle. Sutter defending against Andrusiak. Good support by Wiley to knock it away. And we have 3:07 to go here in period 2 of game 5. The Tips seizing command up 3-0 as they threw one toward the Seattle net out of the reach of Richards, and Thunderbirds' Jake Lee feed up the left wing to Kaluski to work it back in and turned away by Davis to Andre Vala. Forwards rattle off a check is now Samuel Ho. Centering attempt to the wrong guy. Tips control as Richards is center ice beating Vasco Rudis with two Thunderbirds back skating. Richards deflects it over left circle, turned away by Kaluski. Blake Barger steers his way back on through, dumps it in for the Thunderbirds. Glove side corner of Carter Hart. First to touch, Kevin Davis. Up the left wing, Richards. Along to center, quick feed right wing. Fontaine into the offensive zone. Force wide. And now left by Richards, who goes low to high for Ian Walker, but a rink-wide pass off of Niles deflects the center. Fairbrother shoots it back in. Claimed by Fontaine, open out of the right circle, dangles by Jake Lee, in front, save made by Hughes. And he hangs on with 2:04 to go in period 2. Matt Fontaine inches away from highlight reel territory as Hughes makes the save and keeps it 3-0 Silvertips here in game 5.
Yeah, really interesting the way Fontaine was able to get over to that puck first. I mean, this was a rim in from the neutral zone that was just rimmed around behind the Thunderbirds net. Nobody over on that side of the ice except for Matt Fontaine. Picks it up, goes right to the front of the net, tried a little razzle-dazzle. I think he wanted to slip it 5-hole on Hughes, but he just closed the pillows in time to keep this at just a 3-goal lead for the Silvertips.
So it is Dewar and Fontaine who get the assist on the Bykov power play goal, and the Tips 1 of 1 this evening. In front now, Fontaine fires a snapshot save made by Hughes as he was stoned from between the circles, and we have 1:56 to go here in the second off the whistle. Well, you have to admire, if you're a Silvertip fan, there is no letting off the gas pedal right now, Justin. Tips up 3-0 here in this potential closeout game.
Yeah, they are. They've been generating chances all night, but they're starting to finish them off here. And I think, I was mentioning the Thunderbirds were starting to press a little bit more and get more aggressive. I think that is helping to create even more opportunities because the Thunderbirds are selling out now offensively. They know they have to do something special to get back into this game down 3 goals.
That opens holes for the Silvertips speed. 1:45 to go here in the second. Tips go with Bykov, Fontaine, and Kindop now as Ottenbright up the left wing for Niles and turned away back on a pass. Silvertip zone by Ian Walker. Fontaine controls. Traced by Andrusiak. Lead toss up the left wing. Fairbrother skates into the offensive zone. Wrist shot sailing wide. Hughes gloves it anyway and gets a whistle now with 1:24 to go here in period 2. Ranked as one of America's top 50 public courses to play by Golf Digest, Kayak Point is the official golf course of your Everett Silvertips. More information at golfkayak.com.
Let's think about what Mitch Love said last night in the post-game interview. Silvertips found themselves in a similar spot with a healthy lead. The closing stage of the second and start of the third. How will they react? They seemed to sort of let off last night. There has been no signs of that. A strong close to this period would do, I think, wonders to send them into the locker room with a lot of confidence going into the third.
Left circle face-off, Tips control. Dewar left corner and chopped away by Lee. And Dewar lost his stick, gets back up, recovers, and again keeps the battle alive left corner. What a player. This one sent back to the blue line. Christensen to the right corner for Garrett Pilon. Spun away off of Philp And lays it off for Sutter, who had the game-opening goal this evening. Sutter in deep. And a pass left corner turned away by Philp. Down to a minute left here in period 2. And the Silvertips up 3-0 on the Seattle Thunderbirds. Philp into the offensive zone. Snapshot between the circles, blocked by Pilon. Tips the counterattack as Pilon flips it ahead. Wyatt Wiley brings it into the zone. Top right circle. Wrist shot blocked by Ottenbright. Goes up the boards, kept in. Pilon to the net for the blue line. His shot saved Nate Hughes. And dropped for Ottenbright behind the cage. 31 seconds left. And again, Ottenbright draws the booze out of here in downtown Everett. In the meantime, Tips change up. They don't mind him hanging on to the puck and a score in time like this. 19 seconds left. Ottenbright. Home run pass up the right wing to Barger. No dice. Tied up by Andre Vala. In deep it goes, Silvertip zone. But now Niles takes it away. Centering pass blocked by Fontaine. 5 seconds left. Tips control. Worked one to center. Kindop out of his reach. And Toretta from center spun one of the Tips net. Gloved by Carter Hart. That will do it for the second period. The Silvertips are 20 minutes away from advancing on to the second round of the WHL playoffs. In this best-of-7 series, up 3-0 with 20 minutes left here for the third period in Game 5 in the confines of a noisy and boisterous downtown Everett. Mike Benton with you alongside Justin Morrison, Keith Black as well back in our downtown Everett studios. And the Tips also, if they can move on, they will face the winner of the Portland Winterhawks and Spokane Chiefs, but a game that Portland led until 30 seconds left in regulation, and then Spokane forced sudden death overtime. So all the Tips are concerned with right now is just closing this one out here. With the inside track with 20 minutes to go in regulation. They will begin with Riley Sutter, Garrett Pilon, and Connor Dewar up front. Andre Vala and Wyatt Wiley back on defense. Vulcan, Wedman, and Barger for Seattle. Harsh and Ottenbright back on D as well. Tips going left to right across your dial. Puck is dropper underway. Tips control. Wiley sends it in right side. Dewar to the net. Backhander save made by Hughes. And he hangs on just 8 seconds in. Dewar won a foot race. Almost had a clear upper corner to stash a backhander. This stays 3-0 in a face-off coming right circle.
I mentioned pregame that the starts and close to every period have been largely in favor of the Silvertips, and that would have been a terrific way to get this third period underway.
Puck clear back to center. Dewar angles it back in. Tips in the third period here for this series. A 4-3 edge and goal differential. This is Nolan Vulcan at center for Seattle up the left wing to Wedman, but it's offside. And we get a whistle now, 27 seconds into period 3. The Tips, when leading after 2 periods in this series, 3-0. And a faceoff will come right back to center ice.
Well, the questions here at the start of the third period are, how much does Seattle have left? How much grind do they want to get after this? Their season on the line. What will they come at the Silvertips with? And from the Silvertips' perspective, how much did they learn from last night? Up 4 goals going into the third period last night. They quickly let in 2 to make it really a game in the third period in Kent. So what will we see? Who learned a lesson from last night?
Dennis Williams said the first period was a lesson learned, and now a giveaway by Philp to Kindop. Right side, Fontaine fires. Knocked down by Jake Lee, and a pass in front, paddle away by Hughes and his stick. Bykov was darting toward the net. At center ice, Christensen forced up the boards, and a bouncing puck now played by Kindop and along to Bykov at center. 18:53 to go in period 3. Tips are concerned with puck possession and winding down the clock. Is now Bykov. Stretch pass through center. Richards on left wing. Winds up into the offensive zone. Pulls up into the corner. Hangs onto it. Left circle. Handing off now for Reese Vitelli. At the hash marks. Cycles for Fasco Rudis. Takes it wide behind the net, and now the cage knocked off the moorings behind Liam Hughes. That draws a whistle, and now down to 18:26 to go in period 3.
I like the work from the Silvertips already in the Seattle zone, making it look easy, controlling the puck, darting away from the Thunderbirds' defense, controlling it, creating a dangerous situation there with looked to go in front of Hughes' net. I'm not sure exactly who knocked the net off. Vaskarudas was tight to the net with a trailing Thunderbird behind him, but regardless, that comes off. Face-off. Actually, I guess they're going to say it was the Silvertips who knocked it off because they're going to move this face-off up and out of the Seattle zone.
Tips will go now with Richards, Vitelli, and Vaskarudas still, with Ian Walker and Fairbrother back on D. Williams for Torretta. Right side and spun back in by Mike McLean, but it's offside the call here against Seattle, and we have now 18-17 to go here in period number 3. Playoff tickets for the Silvertips remain on sale. Get up close for all the action for playoff hockey at a price that you can't believe. Log on to everettsilvertips.com/playoffs and believe in green.
So impressed with the crowd, the turnout here tonight, a Saturday night playoffs, chance to close out the Thunderbirds. They really have turned up. Silvertip country has done good.
Seattle brought it back in. Williams shoots it wide from the left wing. And now play by Walker to the far side. And McLean right corner locked up by Fairbrother. Kaluski checked by Ian Walker. As now the Tips extracted behind the net. And this one to center ice as Ethan O'Rourke will dump it back in. 3-0 Tips, 17:47 left. This one to center ice again as McLean will toss it back in for Seattle behind Carter Hart.
Right now the boys looking very poised, very sure of themselves, just like they did through the first 40 minutes, taking care of the puck in their own end really well.
Tips dump it back in now to the right side, Connor Dewar. Spun away from Donovan Niles with 17:23 to go. And being worked on by Philp in the right corner again. A puck in deep Seattle zone with the Tips. Would love to keep it here. Here's Dewar now to the right side. Forced away by Philp and to center. Niles left wing brings it back into the trailer. Philp, his snap shot knocked down by traffic and trying to dribble one toward the net. Jammed up by Kevin Davis. Tips control and back comes Pilon through center ice. 16:57 to go as now Pilon forcing it back in deep. The shots at 33-25 Silvertips as now Harsh gives it away. Left side Fontaine. Drops it back. Christensen to the Silvertip line. Right side Wiley up the wing to Bykov, deflects it in. Hughes stays put. First time puck is skinned up for the Silvertips. Cycling Fontaine. Behind the net now being worked on by Phil. Fontaine left circle, handing off for Bykov toward the slot, and his shot knocked down by Ottenbright. Puck to the right corner. Spun away by Seattle, and Harsh behind his zone net. Up the wing, and Barger at center will shoot it back in. Puck off the partition. Tips control of Seattle finishing a change, and Wiley. A toss ahead at center, picked up by Wedman, lost his edge. Christensen ahead for Sean Richards. Left wing into the offensive zone. Flip one toward the net and trying to get Strand turned around. A cover up now by Liam Hughes with 16:02 to go in period 3. Game 5, Tips on top of the Seattle Thunderbirds 3-0.
And not maybe a bad result there for the Silvertips as they were kind of between lines. The odd combination of Bykov and Vitelli and O'Rourke's at Richards out there. So kind of in the middle of a line change and no need to do anything special there. Richards just getting the puck on towards Hughes' net, and the Seattle netminder covering up.
Face-off left circle, Tips control. Dewar against Strand, cycling into the left corner. And Sutter worked on by Wedman. Puck picked up by Pilon. Now forcing his way toward the front. Puck is loose. Sutter in front. Shoots. Save made by Hughes. And he hangs on for a whistle. 15:46 to go in period 3. The Tips remain on top 3-0.
Another thing that stands out in tonight's game is that the Silvertips have blocked a lot of shots, and when the puck has been sitting in skates in dangerous areas, they have done an outstanding job of getting the puck out of there towards the corner, over by the boards. The Thunderbirds have not. The puck has sat there. Sutter, this is another example. Bykov had one earlier, just sitting there right in front. The Thunderbirds kind of being cavalier, just swinging at it, swiping at it, trying to lift the stick. Sutter got a good look on net because he stayed with that play.
Puck clear back out to center, and Harsh up the wing to Hamiluk, and spun right back Tips line. Turned away by Fairbrother, and now it's Ian Walker. Ahead to Richards and dumped toward the net. Knocked away by Hughes. And to the far corner, Tips keep it in. From the line, Fairbrother off for Fasco Rudis, and his shot save made. And a rebound deflecting now to the right side. Taken by Richards. Off his backhand. Pulls up to the dot. His wrist shot again. Blocked by Harsh. Rebound far side. Tips kept it in. From the line, Fairbrother steered in front and turned away by Ottenbright. Thunderbirds back through center. Ottenbright dumps it in. Full change coming up on their side. Tips control deep in their own zone. Ian Walker stretch past that center. Broken up by Strand. Off to Andrusiak, right side. Shot jammed away. Rebound to the left side for Philp. Tossing toward the back end, Strand. Hangs on to it. Teed one up. Save made by Carter Hart through traffic. As Zach Andrusiak had the screen. Hart got it off the left pad. Tips clear it out.
Another example right there. First to that rebound. Who was it? Silvertips, Fairbrother defenseman, getting it out of harm's way.
3-0 Silvertips in Game 5. We have 14:28 to go in the third period. The Tips lead the series 3-1. Andrusiak behind the net. Right circle toss for Philp. Centering pass is knocked down by Davis. Philp off his backhand to the right corner. Now cycling for Niles, sealed up by Ethan O'Rourke. Vala in for the tie-up. As now Seattle cycles it in behind for Andrusiak, worked on by Davis. A quick change for the Thunderbirds as Wedman jumping off the bench in place of Philp, and now Andrusiak crushed against the board's left side. But a puck taken by Wedman, now flattened by Andre Vala. Play continuing on, 13:50 left. Tips finally force it free. O'Rourke in front of his own goaltender. Flipping ahead to center ice. Gain the red line, stuffs it back in, and the Tips get a full change coming.
Yeah, it took a little while, but that was what was needed. Just get it up to center ice, get it down ice, and then get off the ice so that new group can get out there.
Harsh's stretch pass up the right wing off of Blake Barger from center. That's out of play. And we have 13:27 to go in period 3. The Tips maintaining a 3-0 lead.
There's been no complaints so far. If you're watching this from a Silvertip perspective, more puck possession, more control of this game, really not letting much go on. The Thunderbirds probably put together their best shift there just moments ago. Silvertips got caught chasing a little bit, bad communication when they did have one chance to clear the puck, but they quickly tied up the loose ends, got control, and got the puck out.
Crowd of 6,179 congregating in downtown Everett for Game 5. Tips trying to close this series out in front of them, up 3-0. Third period, 13:10 and ticking. Wedman against Dewar. To Barger right side. Cleared ahead for Volkan at center. To the red line now for Jake Lee. Cuts to his left, skates it in. Wrist shot from the blue line. Glove saved by Hart. And he hangs on now with 12:56 to go in the third, and more pot stirring going on at the net. And the officials come in to break it up.
And I think Carter Hart was looking to maybe play that puck, get it down on the ice, and keep play going because of just that. Because they know that when this clock is running and the puck is moving, it's absolutely to the Silvertips' advantage. Anytime there's a whistle, there's a chance for the Thunderbirds to maybe try and do something to change the complexion of this game, whether that be draw a penalty, get physical, just looking to keep this play going. And Carter Hart was trying to, but I think smart in the end not to put that puck down on the ice because there might have caused a little bit of danger.
Tips control from their own zone. Wiley breaks out to the red line, skates it into the offensive end, and a feed off right wing Sutter. Drop to back Wiley to Pilon, one-timer, fanned on. Dewar picks up left side, shoots, and blocked by Strand. Puck loose, and to the far boards, kept in by Pilon. To Dewar, left corner, centering attempt off the paddle of Hughes, and Pilon in there, save made. And a rebound off the right side, McLean picked up by Fontaine. Tips swinging back behind the Thunderbird net with 12:21 to go in period 3, again on top 3-0. Strand behind the Seattle net off the right side. Ottenbright looks for his lane, fake twice. Up the right side now for Kaluski at center. Niles trying to shake off. Bryce Kindop lays it back in. Tips control far corner, Ian Walker. Around to the right side now for Bykov. Air mail to neutral. And Kindop now hustling Reese Harsh. A foot race to the right circle. As Harsh now jumping in. Hit by Fontaine. Puck taken by Seattle's Philp. Threw it into the legs of Kindop. And recovering is Harsh. Pass ahead now for Philp, cutting right side, Silvertip zone. Button hooks now top of the circle, dropped it for Harsh, and his shot through traffic, knocked down. And Niles funnels it to the back again. A shot again by Harsh, wide. And chip now for Strand, tips control. Bykov couldn't clear. Walker settles it down. He'll feed it back in Seattle zone. Icing calls washed out. Harsh bangs it up the right side for the Thunderbirds. The pass was too hot off of Philp. Tips now jumping in with 11:10 to go. Freed up for Davis. Plants it off the right boards. Smart play to get it in deep. And now Williams battling Mafasco Rudis left corner. Swung back for Barger to the blue line. Sutter couldn't keep it in. And now we get an offside call as Richards brought it back in left side. And we have 10:55 to go in period 3 of Game 5. Tips up 3-0 before a crowd of 6,179.
You talked, Mike, about the smart play of Kevin Davis there, getting the puck in the neutral zone, seeing that everybody was really on the far side boards because there was a battle over there. Didn't have any clear path to go, and on his side of center ice, didn't want to just fire it down for the icing. So what does he do? Smartly caroms it off the boards, back gently towards the face-off circle. It was a great play, great smart play here as the Silvertips are trying to work
left
it down.
Left side Sutter wrist shot save made by Hughes and a rebound to the right circle. Pilon swung one in deep, ricocheted back for Davis, and a feed right corner Seattle zone. Taken away by Owen Williams, and the Thunderbirds funnel it up the left wing. Volk into center. Up along for Wedman, the relay. Williams to Wedman. Angled wide by Davis into the right corner. Tip zone. Andre Vala in to play it. And free for Garrett Pilon with 10:18 to go in the third, of the Tips are back on the move. Pilon dumps it back in. Change coming here for the Dennis Williams bunch. Fontaine, Kindop, and Bykov now off the bench. And Seattle with puck possession. Left wing Vulcan into the zone, and a wrist shot save made Carter Hart. Rebound now left corner for Samuel Ho. He battles Wyatt Wiley. Up the right boards, Tips control. Wiley for Bykov. And through center ice. Bykov brings it in right wing. Shot bouncing wide off of traffic. And now deflecting back for Austin Strand with 9:44 to go. Pass ahead for Hammerluck left wing. Into the tip zone. The trailer is Ho and pulls up to the hash mark. Set one to the blue line. Lee controls, and his shot tumbling wide. And a loose puck right corner for Hammerluck. Now checked by Wiley. Ho back for Hammerluck into the corner. Checked by Wiley again. Hammerluck now to the right hash. Sent it back to center ice. Nobody covering at the point. Fans chanting, let's go Tips. Kaluski breaks on past Christensen to the right side. Save made by Carter Hart. And he hangs on with 9:12 to go. Carter Hart turns in his 29th save of the evening to keep the Seattle Thunderbirds at bay, and the Silvertips lead it in Game 5. 3-0 up in the series. 3-1. We'll still and place your deposit for season tickets for the 2018-19 Tips season. Get priority seating, VIP events, and WHL Live streaming free when you invest in a membership. Deposits for just $50 taken at everettsilvertips.com/ticketcentral. Reese Harsh from center ice dumps it back in. Silvertip zone. Icing is the call. This is going to come back in the Thunderbird zone now with 8:57 to go in period 3. And the Silvertips maintain their 3-0 lead, up 3-1.
Yeah, they'll absolutely take that, an icing call against the Thunderbirds. You know, they haven't taken a lot, but it's kind of indicative of the fact that Everett is just giving them no outlets from their zone. They haven't made it easy.
Left side, Bykov fires, save made by Hughes. Rebound tumbling toward the crease. He knocks it down himself, and Ottenbright clears ahead for Niles. Up along to Andrusiak. From the right side, pitchforks it into the corner. Waiting was Fontaine. Steers it up the left wing. Kindop hit by Harsh. Puck ricochets back in the Seattle zone. And Harsh plays it up the right wing. Philp to Andrusiak. And across the line, left for Philp, right corner, and worked on by Wiley. Tips taken away off the centering pass. Christensen scoots it, left boards, out of the reach of Kindop. Icing calls waved off. And we are down to 8:18 to go in regulation. Tips up 3-0 for Seattle. Philp through center. Turned away. Garrett Pilon counterattack. And one man to beat. Unfortunately, Austin Strand had the edge. Loose puck now and behind the cage. He frees it up for the Thunderbirds' Blake Barger. Up the right wing. That's cleared. And now Sutter takes it away. Left side for Dewar. Busting his way back in. Left for Sutter and flipped it behind the Seattle net. Strand to the right corner, checked by Pilon. 7:45 to go. Tips control. Pilon for Dewar. Shoots, save, rebound. Just out of the reach of Dewar. Denied from between the circles. Dewar now left corner, picks up. Dropped it left corner. Sutter for Pilon. Fires. Glove save by Hughes. And he hangs on with 7:34 to go in period number 3. It has gone final in Portland. The Spokane Chiefs stay alive, forcing Game 6. 5-4 victory in sudden death OT. So if the Silver Tips win, we don't know the schedule yet, but they'll wait. Well, as far as the whole 7-game series, they'll wait to see who wins that series. But a big win for Spokane tonight as the game-winning overtime goal to force Game 6 scored by Kyler Yamamoto.
I'll give you one guess.
He's got a future, doesn't he?
I think so.
7:25 to go. The Tips know that their work is not done, though. Trying to close it out here on home ice. Up 3-0. They have outshot the Thunderbirds 42-29. Davis slipped one ahead of the Thunderbird line, knocked down by Williams. Wedman to the red line for Seattle. Left wing, Hamiluk into the offensive zone. Wrist shot into the chest of Carter Hart. He hangs on and keeps it 3-0. And a whistle now with 7:04 to go in regulation.
And I hope we don't see a ton of this down the stretch here. It's been probably the cleanest game of the series so far. Both teams staying out of the penalty box predominantly. And just before this shift, I mean, what can you say about Sutter, Dewar, and Pilon tonight? I mean, they have done laps around the Thunderbirds' defense. I mean, they have just owned the puck the entire night. Great setup from Pilon over to Dewar earlier. I've been so impressed with the way they've showed up here in this elimination game for Seattle.
To the right of Carter Hart. Seattle controls for a moment. Ian Walker spikes it away. Richards clears up the left wing. Fasco Rudis relays it back in. That's a good, effective, and simple play. That burns more time off clock. Inside 7 minutes left in regulation. Tips on top of Seattle 3-0. Reese Harsh from center. Works it back in right corner. First on puck is Ian Walker, but controlled by Niles of Seattle. Looking toward the back. Puts it into a scrum. Tips break free of it. Vitelli to the open Fasco Rudis. Skated towards center. Dumped it back in. Full change coming here for the Dennis Williams bunch. As we are down to 6:24 to go and ticking in the third period. For Seattle, Harsh lugs it through center from the red line. Dumped it into the net. Made Carter Hart out of his glove. Up to for Christensen, and now up the wing. Wiley left side off of Kindop. Delayed offside Seattle as now Strand brought it back in. And we get a whistle now with 6:10 to go here in period number 3. You'll hear Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Doug Gottlieb, The Fish, Jeff Aaron, and Tips Hockey. What a lineup on Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3.
You can see Austin Strand has no quit in him. He's been, I think, one of the guys for the Thunderbirds that has lifted them when they've been down in this series. But right there, anticipating the play, trying to jump in and keep the play on sides. But it's a great knack. I think he does have a pretty good future, too. I know not drafted, but he's a very, very intelligent player. And certainly, as we've seen throughout this series, possesses a really terrific shot.
Entry-level contract he signed with the Los Angeles Kings middle of this season. Originally acquired from the Eastern Conference last season midway by Seattle. Tips work it back in right circle. Bykov hit by Jake Lee. And behind the Seattle net, it's Strand for Barger. Relays it up the right wing. Wedman with speed with 2 Tips back skating. Puck knocked away by Christensen. Poked to center. 5:45 to go here in period 3. Now Bykov spins away. Open lane, Kindop right side. Shoots. Blocker save made by Hughes. Rebound to the left side. Christensen funnels one around now to the near corner. Seattle picks up and Strand collecting with 5.5 to go and ticking. Third period. Tips up 3-0. In the series leading at 3-1. Sutter for Wiley. Stretch pass. Connecting Dewar on right wing. Pulls up top of the right circle. Drop for Pilon. Forced wide of the right corner and worked on by Philp. Pilon now set one in front. Kick save made Hughes. Rebound to the left side. Andre Vala swings around. Pilon right corner. Centering Sutter and knocked away by Strand as that one skipped over the crossbar. Out of play it goes. And we have 5 minutes to go in period 3. Here in game 5. Tips maintaining a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, Strand and Sutter had a good little shift where they were in each other's grill for the entire time. Sutter back checking, got his stick in there, loosened up Strand's possession on the puck. Strand didn't like it, felt like maybe he had been hooked or maybe slashed. Gave a nice clean slash to Sutter there that went uncalled and then blocked that shot.
Davis right point. A slap shot blocked by traffic off a face-off win by Ethan O'Rourke. Seattle back through center. Andrew Siak drag move into the offensive zone through one of the net. Kick save. Hart rebound to the far boards. Vala for Sharp kept in. Andrew Siak right side. Centering toss. Airmailed all the way into the Thunderbird zone with 4:35 to go. Tips are changing. Andrew Siak brings it back in right wing. Looking across. Niles into the slot. Bumped away. Loose puck in front. Peyton Mound swing and a miss. And Vitelli knocks it free into the corner. Tips regain as the cowbells continue to ring as well. Here's Niles circling up high. His wrist shot blocked by Andrusiak right in the face. He controls, shoots it wide, and a rebound off left side for Niles. 4:07 left. 3-0 Silver Tips game 5, up 3-1. Tips control, Fairbrother up the left wing. Richards will drop for Walker. Guns it back in Seattle zone. Strand to Ottenbright, up the left wing to center. Tapped away by Fontaine. Strand backpedaling in the Thunderbird end with 3:45 to go. 97-born D-man Turner Ottenbright. Over Ager. On a pass ahead for Hamelug, skated it in. Offside Thunderbird to the right wing, and we have 3:37 to go in period 3. The Tips have eclipsed their average in shots for this series per game. They've got 44. Seattle's got 33.
It's been a workmanlike effort for the Silver Tips here. Great energy from the drop of the puck here tonight. Just over 3.5 minutes left to close the door.
Ottenbright from the neutral zone shoots it in toward the net. Save made Hart. Hangs on to it. We have 3:31 to go now in period 3. Back behind the Silver Tip bench is a head coach as a Western Conference Coach of the Year as well, and Dennis Williams, who has been through many of these battles in his career. In the USHL, the North American Hockey League, a championship coach. Experience that has been valuable for this Tips team navigating this first round series against their division rival. Kindop now left corner. Forcing it in deep Seattle zone, hit by Strand. Bykov jumping in and now battling Wedman. 3:14 to go. Kindop breaks free. Centering toss to Fontaine. One-timer blocked. Recovering Bykov in front and a pass out of the reach. It was behind Kindop again. Hameluk to center. Lays it back in Silver Tip zone. Christensen trying to dodge Volkin. Centering pass is blocked by Wiley. And it's up and out of play with 2:54 to go in period 3. Other side of the bench is Matt Odette. He's got coaching experience here with Seattle as an assistant to Steve Konowalchuk. First playoff series of his career, 254 away from ending in 5. First time ever he's been a head coach here in a playoff series. Missed twice with Bakersfield, but for a Seattle team that lost so much offense last year, many admiring the job that he did to get this team back into the postseason.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, they didn't get off to the greatest start either, and they had a nice sort of rebirth in the middle of their season, and playoffs were pretty much in their control the entire time. Maybe had aspirations to climb out of the 8th and final spot, but they outperformed expectations for sure this season.
Tips control up 3-1 in the series. Sutter ahead of the blue line, kept in Ottenbright. Pilon slugs one to center ice. 2:42 to go. As anticipation building amongst this downtown Everett crowd. Liam Hughes out of the Seattle net. Turnover at center. Dewar shoots it wide. Rebound in the middle. Dewar shoots. Score! Downtown Everett and party time. Connor Dewar, who else? winning a foot race off a rebound off the backboards. Empty net goal with 2:31 to go in regulation. It's 4-0 Silvertips.
You want to talk about the epitome of effort and determination. Connor Dewar exemplifies a lot of that. We see it in the post-season awards, the end-of-season awards. He's known for it. And this right here is a simple turnover in the neutral zone that he took advantage of firing it down ice. He missed the net, but then he beat 3 Thunderbirds who just stood there and watched. He beat them all to the puck and put it into an empty net very easily.
Here's a call from PA announcer Greg Pyland.
His second goal of the playoffs. Unassisted at 17:29.
Dewar picks up his second goal of this series and has got 3 points in this elimination game. How fitting. 1:57 left until downtown Everett into party time. Right side, Samuel Ho, snapshot missing it. Rebound kept in by Ottenbright. Turned away by Jay Christensen, and back come the Silvertips again. Richards ahead of Vitelli and spiked away at the Seattle zone. Volleyed ahead to the Silvertips, Jay Christensen, who spins it back in front of the Seattle net. Ottenbright's there. His WHL career 128 away from coming to an end of the corner of Hewitt and Broadway. With 1:15 to go. Strand right side. Given away to Ian Walker. As we let the natural sounds of the crowd infiltrate your ears for just a bit. The Silvertips, who had been stymied 3 times in 4 seasons, their season to an end at the hands of the Seattle Thunderbirds, are now 52 seconds away from dishing payback and knocking the defending WHL champions into summer. Wedman dumps it into the Silvertip net, save Hart. And a crowd of 6,179 on their feet. 35 seconds left. Puck volley by Fairbrother towards center. Back with Ian Walker. And now Walker receives a pass. Goes cross ice to midseason acquisition. Bronson Sharp dumped into the Seattle net. Save Hughes. 18 seconds left. For Seattle, Ottenbright to Wedman. Up the right side to Vulcan. Dumps it in, save made Carter Hart, who has turned away 35 of 35. 5 seconds left. The Silvertips will advance onto the second round of the WHL playoffs. That's a final, and the Silvertips win. How sweet it is! Carter Hart, 36 save shutout. 3rd of his playoff career. The Thunderbirds are eliminated. And the Everett Silvertips win the first round series. 4 games to 1.
How about that? A monkey off the back for the Silvertips. Certainly this team, not everybody on it, was a part of all those losses to the Thunderbirds. But you know who was? All the 20-year-olds on this team. They were a part of each of those losses in the playoffs to the Seattle Thunderbirds. And I'm sure it means a lot to those guys. And they certainly played like it meant a lot to them. What a performance by them, this whole team. You know, it was going to be a dogfight, and for a long time in this series it was. Maybe a little surprised in how easy it seemed to come tonight, but overall, it took a great effort from the Silvertips to dispatch this Seattle team and come away with a victory in this series.
And the Everett Silvertips moving on to the second round with the handshake line now to follow. And ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. For as vicious as this series can get, is this handshake line a breath of fresh air. This is what hockey is all about. Because across white and green and navy blue are players who know each other. The hockey world is a small world. They drop the colors. Now for again a handshake. to say well done and well played. And the Everett Silvertips, who knew that if they wanted to embark on something special, had to get through to the defending WHL champions. They do so in an impressive 5-game run in this opening round series. And as the Silvertips get through the handshake line, winning this series 4-1, they will open round 2 of the WHL playoffs, regardless of opponent, here in downtown Everett this Friday, April 6th at 7:35. Game 2 will follow the very next night, April 7th, right back here at 7:05. Future games and opponent, of course, to be determined. And while the Silvertips also move on with plenty of heroes in this first round series, you have to again tip your hat to how edgy and how tough the Seattle Thunderbirds were again for this season. And 3 Overagers who put forth respectable careers see it come to an end this evening in Donovan Niles, Austin Strand, and Turner Ottenbright.
Well, this night is certainly all about the Silvertips and what they were able to do in getting this victory. I think the handshake line, as you said, sort of exemplifies the sportsmanship. And I think it's worthy to note, Mike, when you look at when this horn sounded, and the celebration going on one end, and the other end of the ice, Turner Ottenbright, who is certainly, the villain for the Thunderbirds. You have to look over there, from the Silvertips perspective, he's the villain. You have to look over there and appreciate what he means to this Seattle team, both last year and this year as the captain. He wears his heart on his sleeve, puts it all on the line. Sometimes Silvertips country may think he crosses the line, but his reaction when the final horn sounded and he realized he has now played his final WHL game, he left it all out there, and it showed. And he was pretty emotional after this win, and his whole team came around to support him. So on a night when we celebrate a great accomplishment for the Silvertips, you do admire and appreciate your opponent and what he did to lead the Seattle Thunderbirds to this hard-fought series defeat to the Everett Silvertips.
The stage belongs to the boys in white and green, saluting the crowd of 6,179. Their playoff journey continues on to round 2, dispatching the Seattle Thunderbirds this evening 4-0 in Game 5, and the Tips win the series 4-1. For Justin Morrison and Kate Black, this is Mike Benton, inviting you to stay tuned to the postgame show coming up next. And you're listening to Sound Transit's Everett Silvertips Playoff Hockey on Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3.